and then electronics, machine learning. So let's talk about now communications. So this is also one field of electrical engineering, and so I will briefly introduce communications, and then I will talk about the possible options that you might have after you will complete your degree. For example, if you adopt communications as your major, then what will be the possible options that you might have after you will finish your degree? Okay, so just starting from the definition, so we can also, like basically we experience communication in our daily life. For example, every one of you is carrying mobile, right? Is carrying mobile in your pocket. So you know you deal with communication most of the time. So in communication, there should be a transmitter, there should be a receiver whom you want to communicate to, and in between there is a channel, right? So there are three main components: transmitter, which sends the signal, receiver receives the signal, and the signal passes through the channel, right? Okay, so communication engineering is about the design of transmitter, rightly characterizing the channel, and then doing the right design of the receiver. So this is all about communication. But if you do this in a right way, then you can do wonders. So we will see. Okay, so you know that just like in old days, like very old days, we were not able to communicate to a very long distance. We used pigeons to carry messages through some distance, and like I mean, by we I mean like old people, and like older people. I mean older people. And there was also one way which is using Morse code. So it's a special code. So for example, if you have to send a text from one place to, let's say, 2 or 3 kilometers far, then they used to send that text by turning on and off the lights in a special pattern. And that pattern basically is the way to tell the destination that what is the letter that they want to transmit. For example, if they have to transmit the letter H, then light should be turned off, then for example turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, and so on. So they basically came up with different ways to communicate the text. So it was about old days communication. So then as science progressed, they discovered telephone. It is a wired way to communicate. So we know that telephones are connected with a wire. So it's a landline telephone. So basically there is a microphone. So basically this communication is a communication through electric signals. Okay, so this is after the invention of electricity. So for example, there is a microphone in the telephone which will convert your voice to an electric signal. And then that electric signal will be transmitted through the wire, and at the receiver there will be a speaker. Speaker will convert the electric signal to the same voice signal. Okay? Okay, but you know, we can do now long distance communication by basically displaying wires all over the world. But still, there were some limitations, like we have to depend on the wires, right? So scientists were trying to discover some way to have wireless communication, which we see in this world. So they figured out that in electromagnetic spectrum, which is basically a spectrum characterizing different rays with different frequency and wavelength. For example, we have infrared, ultraviolet rays, and each ray has its own frequency and wavelength. They figured out that in this whole electromagnetic spectrum, there is a special spectrum which is a radio spectrum, and that spectrum, this spectrum, radio spectrum, has the highest wavelength, and it can travel longer distance with the speed of light. Electromagnetic spectrum is basically it's all about using electromagnetic radiations, and electromagnetic radiations can travel with the speed of light. So scientists figured out that this radio spectrum in this overall electromagnetic spectrum has the largest wavelength, and it can travel long distance. So why not to use this radio spectrum to achieve wireless communication? So they figured out this, and finally we are now using wireless communication via our mobiles. And in fact, this is not stopped just here, and we are still basically progressing. So let's see how we are progressing. So we start basically scientists started with the first generation phone, which was analog phone. It was in 1980s, and then almost every 10 years the next generation is coming. So like you have probably not, you were not probably in this world at this time, but now you are like talking about 3G or 4G, right? 3G, 4G, and in fact, someone of you might have heard about 5G also. So basically, almost after every 10 years, next generation comes. And why there is a need of next generation? Because the number of consumers, number of subscribers are growing. The data rate requirements are growing. For example, 10 years ago, people were happy with the messages. If they can text someone, wow, it's great. 20 years ago, people were just happy with voice conversation. They were not worrying about having the data in their mobiles, right? There was only, for example, in this analog phone, there was only voice communication. But in then 2G or 3G, the data communication also started through GPRS. Now, we can basically do video communications also. For example, we can download videos on our mobile. So data rate requirements are increasing. Like, for example, in 4G, we can easily download a video and we can send videos. We can use voice plus video communication. So the data rate requirements here were more, like in 4th generation. So that helped to do like video communication also, or video downloads or etc. Now we are talking about 5G, which will hopefully appear in 2020. In 5G, in addition to all those features, we want to get internet interconnection between various devices. For example, in 5G, scientists are talking about connecting your daily use devices with each other. For example, they want that their car, their refrigerator, their microwave oven, or their light system, everything should be connected. For example, you can just send a message from your laptop that lights at your home, or for example, lights at particular room should be turned off. So they will just turn off. You want your oven to be off, so it can be off. For example, there will be sensors, and they can detect in fridge that okay, the number of eggs are now less. So they may send a signal to the department store that particular home number, a particular house requires or wants to buy eggs, and basically there will be the eggs will be delivered to the particular location. So that all communication is basically called Internet of Things, IoT. You might have heard about IoT, it's a buzzword. So Internet of Things. So this is basically the next step where researchers want to move. Okay, so this was like what I have talked about. It was all about wireless mobile communications. But there are other applications for communication. For example, satellite communication. So we can use satellites to communicate through long distances from one country to another country, or even to communicate with the satellite. We can do even communication of messages. For example, you can use dish antennas to, for example, watch the channels which were basically transmitted in some other country. So this is all possible through satellite communications. So one particular example, which might be might be new for you, is this special spacecraft, Voyager spacecraft. This spacecraft was sent to space in 1977. It was sent by NASA, and it was sent to study the outer solar system. Still, till now, after 40 years, NASA is in link with that spacecraft. It was sent 40 years ago. So the communication is still being done with this spacecraft, which was sent 40 years ago. So communication has made up till that, has done up till that far. Right? For example, it has not reached so far. It has gone through all the planets, and now it is far from Pluto, which is the farthest planet from the Sun. It is far from Pluto, and still NASA people are communicating, and they are getting images from this spacecraft. And one image, which basically which is a message, it is communicated in about 17 hours. Like it takes 17 hours to reach NASA, which is sent by this spacecraft. It travels with the speed of light, but the distance is so much that it takes time. So communication has basically made up till so far. So there are other applications, for example, like vehicle-to-vehicle communication. It is now gaining in the in some countries it is implemented, a few countries, and it will be the next goal also. Like vehicles will communicate with each other. For example, if let's say if there is a chance of if one vehicle basically observes an accident in front of him or in front of it, then that vehicle can communicate with the vehicles which are behind, and those vehicles will automatically get their brakes applied slowly, automatically. So that vehicle-to-vehicle communication will help to decrease the number of cars which may fall into an accident. So there are other applications also for vehicle-to-vehicle communication. So yeah, so there are some applications for communication, and so in KFUPM, if there are some orientation students here, so they can get a chance to work with some state-of-art hardware which is available in the labs. For example, there are good oscilloscopes and signal generators, and also there are USRPs. USRPs can be used to model the transmitter at different frequencies. So you can basically use them to test different communication systems, and then you can do research. Okay, so I was basically informed that I also have to talk about the scope. If someone basically, I mean job scope, if someone wants to like opt for this field, communications field. So basically there are many options both in local market and international market. In local market you are very familiar with some operators, so you can get a chance there. For example, Mobile or STC sector, you can also get a chance in vendors. There are vendors there, for example, at Exxon, Huawei, and you can get chance there. So other than that, there are many options in international market. For example, you can go to the very well-renowned companies, for example, Google, Microsoft, NASA, etc. You can get chance there. And there are many R&D organizations other than these renowned organizations. And also, like these operators, mobile operators, they are worldwide. So they are not only in Saudi Arabia. Mobile operators and vendors, they are present in every country. So you can get chance in many different companies. Okay, any question?
What R&D organization?
So research and R&D stands for research and development. So basically, they are organizations which do state-of-the-art research, and then they may develop that hardware. For example, we are talking about 5G. So it's not like we are just talking about. Research is going on. Basically, there's continuous research going on this 5G and how we can achieve all the requirements of 5G. So that research is basically happening in R&D organizations and also in institutes, in universities. So R&D is basically particularly focused to develop those algorithms which are part of the research. So their main focus is on the development. For example, universities focus on doing the research, proposing the algorithm that can achieve the requirements. And R&D organizations, they are mainly focused on development.
The Voyager Center, how does it say how power and able to communicate now?
Yeah, so basically, in fact, like you know that even I didn't know about this, and today I was talking to my friend that I have to present, like the introductory talk in this field, and he said that since I'm starting from pigeon communication, so I should go till this end in my introduction. So I haven't even done the research about this. Like I have just got this information till now. So how basically it has got the power backup like till now, I'm not sure. But this is amazing. So you can just search this in Google and you will get the information.
في سؤال ثاني؟ Thank you.